Hey, this is Roma. We're about to make some homemade hot sauce here. I have some fresh from the garden, just picked hot cayenne peppers. You could use any type of long hot chili for this. I prefer cayenne. Tabascos are good too, but they're a little smaller, so you need a little bit more of them. We need some sort of garlic. I prefer garlic powder. Fresh garlic's good too. Salt and white vinegar. You're going to need a saucepan, a strainer, something to put the hot sauce in to store it, and a blender. With that said, we're going to get started here. The first step to doing this is you want to remove the stems from all these peppers. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be back in a sec. Alright, we're back. I've got the tops cut off the peppers, as you can see. Forgot to mention how many peppers. You want to use anywhere from half a pound to a pound of peppers, depending on how hot you want the sauce and what type of pepper you're using. Most people would make it with about a pound to start, and then they water it down after it's aged. I'm just going to start with about half a pound here, because that's all the ones that we're ready to pick off the plant right now. And then hopefully I won't have to water it down later, but I'm assuming this half a pound of peppers is going to be plenty hot enough. But basically what you want to do with these, just put them in your blender. We're going to puree that. We'll see how that goes. Apparently I'm going to have to do some pushing around here, so I'm going to pause the video and we'll come back after we have some nice pepper puree. Alright, we're back. This is the pepper mixture. As you can see, there's still a couple of big hunks, like right there. All the seeds are still whole. That's how you want it. You don't really want it a fine paste. You want it more of just a rough chop, because believe me, when you add this vinegar, we have 2 cups of vinegar right here. Might as well add that right now. 2 cups of vinegar, going to add that in there, and basically that vinegar is going to pull all that heat and all that flavor right out of those peppers. So chopping them up, I mean, as you can see, there's almost a full pepper still floating there. It's fine, it's not going to make a big deal. It's going to be good. So we're going to put this, we're going to throw that on kind of a medium-high heat, 5 or 6, 7. And we're going to add, like I said, we have about half a pound of cayenne pepper. I just added 2 cups of white vinegar. We're going to add, if I could get this going, we're going to throw in 2 teaspoons of granulated garlic. You can use fresh, you can use minced, whatever you like. I prefer the powder because it's nice and strong, and it's already nice and fine, so it's less for me to have to filter out later with my strainer. So we're going to do that, and then you want about 2 teaspoons of salt. So we'll go 1, 2. 2 teaspoons of salt in there. What we're going to do is we're going to let that come to a boil, and we're going to let that boil for 5 minutes. So once it comes to a boil, set your timer for 5 minutes. Stir it the whole time while you're going, and I'll be back in 5. A quick note on working with peppers while we're waiting for our sauce to boil. Whenever you're working with peppers, you want to be careful. Keep your hands off the face and keep your hands above the waist. Trust me, because it's going to hurt. Wash your hands often and be careful. Alright, let's get back to the sauce. Timer just went off on the sauce. It's been boiling for about 5 or 6 minutes. And what we're going to do is we're going to pour it through a strainer into the cup. You want a strainer about this side. I'm going to use this side to get the bigger holes, because you do want some of that pulp left in the juice at this point. You don't want it all smooth. You want some of that left. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to be able to pour this through one-handed while I'm holding the strainer and the juice. So basically I'm just going to pour the juice through the side of the strainer right here into that. Simple enough. Don't need it on video. I'll be right back. Okay, I strained the sauce, and this is what we're left with. We got a little bit of mostly juice, but there's a few hunks, a few little stuff in there. And basically what we're going to do with this is we're just going to cover it, we're going to put it in the fridge, and we're going to let it steep and soak for about 2 to 3 weeks. It's another reason I like to use cayenne pepper over Tabasco. Tabasco peppers seem to need a little bit more time to sit and age, where cayenne seem to be good to go right off the bat. But let this sit for another 2 weeks in the fridge, and then basically what you're going to do is run it through a colander, a fine strainer. And basically then you'll be done. You'll have your hot sauce and enjoy the deliciousness.